let's talk about Martin Bakole getting ice baby by brother Joesph Parker from New Zealand. And you know, one of my subs made an interesting point. He was like, Bakole was the one that was getting set up for this fight, and that's exactly what happened. Bakole was the one that got set up for this fight. He got set up. You know, they probably paid him handsomely to take this fight. They came in on short notice. They eliminated the boogeyman, and he couldn't get an opportunity before. He ain't gonna get an opportunity now. But in this fight, you know, Parker hit him with a good shot, and he did a little wibbly wobbly, dobbly doobly doobly. And I'm telling y'all, when these dudes be laughing or they be acting like it didn't hurt, they be lying. 95% of the time, they lie. That shot hurt him. That shot hurt him. So when you start to see they do posture when they get hit with a good shot, he was already hurt. Parker hit him with a good shot, but you got to understand the backstory. He just got in, I think, late yesterday or sometime yesterday or today, because they're on a time difference than we on in America. I'm on Eastern. So he stepped on the scale at 315, so that's about 15 pounds heavier than he usually is. You know, he usually around 300, you know, and, you know, he thought he could take Parker punch, and I think he was hurt. That's why he didn't defend himself in the manner he should have defended himself. I think legitimately he was hurt. You know, I think he was hurt. So when he started posturing and doing that, he was already hurt. Parker hit him with that shot. Now, some people say the stoppage was premature. What you got to understand, too, is really, I don't think too many commissions would have let somebody fly, you know, halfway around the world, you know, and take a fight. Like, dude couldn't even make the weigh-in. He came in after the weigh-in, stepped on the scale, you know, and he stepped on the scale with his clothes on. So, in reality, he probably, if he stripped down like, you know, regular fighters do, he was probably around 310. You know, he was around 310. You know, he was around 310. He was around 310 pounds. So we being honest. So still heavy, but I think he was tired. He hit Joesph Parker with some good shots. You know, Parker got one of the best chins in the division. And, you know, he exchanged with Joesph Parker, wasn't defensive responsible. In the heavyweight division, you think you're going to walk through people's punches. You're not. You're not. No matter how heavier you are, these are all grown men above 200 pounds. In today's age, we ain't talking about 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. 40, 50 years ago to be. These are, you know, different type of size these dudes got today. Anybody above 200 pounds, power is to be respected. You know, real talk. Street fight, no matter, that's a nice size human being. And Parker probably was somewhere around 240, 250. So hey, you gotta respect it. So he thought he was gonna just sit there and walk through his punches like he walked through Big Baby Anderson punches. No. Joesph Parker took some shots. You know, but Joesph Parker, you know, he's a grown man, and he punched with him. He punched with Martin Bakole, and that's what you got to be willing to do with some of these guys. You got to be willing to go to the body. You got to be able to walk him down like egg the ball, take the body, you know, Diddy. Or you got to be willing to sit in there and exchange with him. Or you got to be willing to exchange, or let me say exchange, punch with them. And if you on there with a puncher and you giving up a bunch of ground, you already lost more times than that. Either you got to sit in there and punch with them and be defense, because a lot of them punchers, like Bakole in general, he ain't defensive responsible. He think he could walk through punches like he could walk through raindrops. From what the two fights I seen him in, and Parker knew, like, look here, Parker I think exchanged too much early on. But with a guy like that coming at you and walking through your punches, you ain't got no other chance but to throw punches. So Parker had a game plan. I'm gonna punch with him, and that's what he should have did. I'm gonna chuck my chin, and punch with him and bank on him continuing not to be defensively responsible. That's what he banked on. He said, I'm a bank on this guy continuing not to be defensively responsible. That's pretty much what he banked on. I'm going to tuck my chin. I'm going to keep my hands at home, and I'm going to punch with him. And not too many guys got that ability, or in today's boxing, are going to take that chance. They want to move, box, and ultimately when you do all that moving in boxing, if you can't sustain it for 12 rounds, all you're going to do is get tired and be a stationary target for that puncher. You know, real talk. That's it. That's all you're going to be is a statistic. So either you got to close that gap on most punchers, or you gonna put them on their back foot where they can't, you know, be on balance to really strike. You know, depending on the type of puncher you're dealing with, or you got to punch with them. And I think the type of puncher Bakole is, he can generate power off platform. He's just that strong. But you know, he should have been more defensively responsible. You know, but my whole thing was I thought Parker was going to try to get it to 6. I thought Parker was going to try to get it to 6, you know, and let the dice roll where they roll at. That's what I thought. I thought he was going to get it to around 6 and then start to take off on him. But, you know, the way Bakole was coming at him, Bakole understood. If it got to 6, you know, midway through the fight, he knew what it was. He knew his chances decreased by a lot. Just getting off the plane, yeah, he was sparring, but he, you know, you in the gym, but you know, you wasn't supposed to be fighting till May. You know, you wasn't supposed to be in the mix till May. Supposed to be in the mix till May, so what type of shape what he was, but you know, that's what they want to do, is eliminate the boogeyman. And they did. This probably was a play to set up Martin Bakole the whole time. We're gonna pull out, we're gonna get Bakole while he's slipping. He ain't gonna, this is the best chance we'll be able to get him. And when you don't get the opportunities and you thirsty, that's why you can't be too thirsty. You know, even in business, even if you're talking about the dope game, a lot of guys got in trouble by being too thirsty, and they ain't even need to be greedy. They was just too thirsty. A lot of these dudes got in trouble being too thirsty, knowing the deal sound too good, and doing the deal and getting took advantage of. That's what it was. Being too fucking thirsty. And that's what he did. But, you know, if they gave you a whole bunch of money to get in the mix, I mean, shit, you might not have been able to get that money again. You know? So, I mean, hopefully he made a lot of money. We could change his family life by making that decision, to be honest. That's my whole thing. Hopefully he made enough money to change his family life. Hopefully he didn't do that shit for chump change. Hopefully he got 2 or 3 Ferraris and some money on top of that. Hopefully Turkey get him another opportunity, but damn, you took it on short notice, it don't matter, you lost. You gotta work your way back up. You know, you gotta work your way back up. Don't matter. You lost. That's all they see it as, is you lost. You gotta work your way back up. Who knows? You know, like I said, all the politics and all that type of stuff. You know, it's gonna be looked at a win for Joesph Parker. And nobody gonna look at he got off the plane the day of the fight, or right before the fight, day before the fight, or whatever it was. Ain't nobody gonna look at it that way. We got rid of him, and now we're gonna make it very, very hard for him to climb the political ladder of boxing again. That's 2 knocks. He's been knocked out twice. And then he heavyweight division, everybody is a threat to knock you out. So, unfortunate, you know, he may never get a title shot. He may never get back in the mix. But, you know, God deal you a certain hand for a reason. It's messed up that, you know, you could be good enough. I'm not saying he is or he ain't. I just think it's messed up where you could be good enough in this sport. You could be good enough in general, and politics can stop you. Even in the NBA, you see what Cam Reddish was giving them fools buckets in practice. But he can't get that opportunity in the real game. You know, you look at a guy, you look at some of these guys that didn't make it in the league, like, man, they really good. But, you know, the politics or the politics ain't always in their favor. Rusty Nuts Racing. I ain't mad at it. Right now. You know, so it ain't always in your favor, the politics. It ain't. You can be good enough, you can be great enough. But for every, you know, Terrence Crawford story, every LeBron story you hear, you know, every story like that you hear, Camaro, if y'all want. Every story y'all hear like that, there's probably hundreds of thousands of other stories that guys just didn't get the opportunity. You know, somebody didn't like him, or he didn't have a look, or he can't be the face of this. Didn't get an opportunity. There was a dude in the name of New York City. He was a baller. His name was Carlton Hines. I watched the documentary on him, right? He was ended up being a drug dealer, ended up getting deleted over some drugs, allegedly, right? But, you know, he ended up getting his life together for a second. And check this out. He wanted to hoop. He was a really good hooper. So, all the high school teams in New York City, the coaches agreed that he could not join anybody high school in New York City because he would tip the balance, you know, of the power in New York. He was that good, he would tip the balance and they were winning. So they were so selfish, right, about winning or winning or losing for their team. They were so selfish, right, that they didn't think about the kid. So the kid didn't have a high school. They wouldn't let him play at no high school in New York City. He went back to the streets. But they were so selfish. The politics of those coaches were so selfish. They didn't care about the kid. Okay, we'll just do a raffle for the kid or something. No, they was like, you can't play at all. So he went back to the streets and selling drugs. Could have changed that kid's life around. Could have went to college, got an education, maybe made pro. But y'all stopped him for selfish reasons. And that's what I be talking about. When you talk about a village or a community and all that, a lot of the elders fail these kids, man. And that's just one of the story of politics and how politics can stop you, bro. It can stop you, real spill. It can stop you, bro. But hey, appreciate y'all, man. Let me know what y'all girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good313, Venmo, CJ Good313, PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love and support. Join the Patreon. All that's inside the link tree is the first link in the description. Peace.